Hello, this is Richard the Dick Coughlin 616. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. This is another video about the English Defence League. I've done many videos about this. If you're new to my channel, I'll leave links to all the videos that I've done on them before. The EDL have unfortunately got, among other things, a bad reputation for exploiting charitable causes and unfortunate emotional events for the purposes of making money. Recently, the EDL released a Support the Troops wristband that you can buy via their website and through eBay. Now, you might think this is a good cause. The EDL finally doing something that might contribute something positive into society. Unfortunately, that's not the case. All the money that the EDL make from these wristbands will go to the EDL. They claim this is because they have to cover expenses for their website and to make placards. I didn't realise that being professional football hooligans was such an expensive profession. However, this isn't the first time they've exploited someone else's tragedy for the purposes of their own gain. They've shown themselves to be exploitative bastards who will take advantage of anything for their own gain. Some of you may remember I did a video back in November called A Lesson in Respect, which was about the poppy burning incident, when a group of Muslim extremists called Muslims Against Crusaders burnt a large poppy in a public protest on Remembrance Sunday. This resulted in the EDL leader Tommy Robinson getting into a fist fight and being arrested for assault. But the leader of Muslims Against Crusaders, who burnt the poppy, was subsequently fined after he was charged with causing public disorder. The EDL were outraged at this incident and thought it was a disgrace. Some of them, including EDL member Jeff Marsh, even said it was treason. However, that didn't seem to stop the EDL from making money off this incident themselves when they sold these pin badges with poppies on them. Even ex-servicemen were calling them out on this, saying that whilst they supported the EDL's cause, they could not possibly condone them profiting completely by selling poppy badges. This being a highly illegal activity as well led to Jeff Marsh taking down the entire site and not selling them anymore. So from the EDL perspective, it's wrong and it's treasonous to burn a poppy, but to sell a badge of one and to profit from it, that's perfectly okay. This brings me on to this most recent case, which is highly unfortunate and delicate, but I'm going to have to go through it with you. It involves a girl called Charlene Downs. Charlene Downs went missing in 2003. She was a 14-year-old girl and she has not been seen since. Police were certain that Charlene was murdered, and the police believe that she was more than likely a victim of child exploitation that happens quite a lot, unfortunately, in the town of Blackpool. Blackpool has a huge amount of attraction for children and families, particularly during the summer months, and as a result it's attracted a lot of unsavoury characters who engage in child exploitation. 2 men were arrested and tried for her murder, but their names were cleared, and the case is still open. Well, what does this have to do with the EDL? Well, a couple of weeks ago, the EDL had a protest in support of Charlene Downs' family, asking for justice to be brought to the case. The 2 men arrested for the crime were Ayad al-Batiki, 31, and Mohammed Raveshi, 51. The former being accused of murdering her, and the latter being accused of helping her dispose of the body. The EDL, who believe that only Muslims are paedophiles and rapists, jumped on this immediately. The prosecution in 2007 alleged that Mr al-Bataki had strangled the young girl after having sex with her. The court had heard that Charlene was one of many young girls who had gravitated towards the establishment in order for the owners to have sex with them. Both men denied ever knowing her. It suddenly became a murder inquiry when David Cassidy, a former friend of Mr al-Bataki, said that the accused brother had told him that the schoolgirl had been strangled and then chopped up. The rumour became that the teenager, after being sexually assaulted and then strangled, was chopped up and made into kebab meat. However, they were cleared of this charge, and they both deny ever knowing her. Why were they cleared? Well, unfortunately, the evidence was highly dubious and the Crown prosecution found it difficult to accept any of it. The recordings included 2,500 hours of surveillance audio, which police had then listened to, which apparently was of such poor quality even the police disputed what the content actually was. Mr Raveshi has now stated that he plans to seek compensation for the 2.5 years he spent in prison whilst he was awaiting trial. I want to state this clearly on my opinion. The police involved in this have been disciplined and punished for their mistakes and the unfortunate way that this was handled. And if these men are indeed guilty, it is an absolute disgrace that the police were so slack in their investigation. However, with the lack of evidence standing, these 2 men were found innocent. And I have nothing but sympathy for Charlene Downs' mother, and I completely understand her in her emotional state, siding with a group such as the EDL, who are purely only in this for their own political gain. But also, they're in it for their own financial gain. You see, recently on their website, this occurred. You can now get a small pin badge which they are selling on their website for £3. And I'm sure you're imagining, well, all the money will be going to help a children's charity. No. As it says at the bottom underneath the symbol of the pin badge, 50p of this will go to a children's charity. And they have yet to specify which children's charity this will go to. So you pay £3 for a badge, And all that's going to this is 1/6. 1/6 of the entire cost of the badge going to an anonymous children's charity, which the EDL have yet to confirm. Meaning that £2.50 of your money is going to support the EDL having more banners and having a website. Now, if the EDL want to sell merchandise in order to make profit, in order to maintain their organisation, that's completely fine. I haven't got a problem with that in the slightest. But to use this incident as a vehicle for their own agenda is reprehensible and is completely unacceptable. And whilst you might say, well, at least they're giving something to a charity, given the incidents involving the wristband and the poppy badges, I would be surprised if any of that money is going to the charity. If you'd like to watch more of my videos on the EDL, I will leave all the links below. I thank you very much for watching. My name is Richard the Dick Coughlin, 616. Good night, and may God bless.